Basquill, blindsided, Ed Basquill.
I've been leading in the utility business for over 20 years. When a problem can't be handled by normal channels, it comes to me. Some of the complaints I've heard make me question our future as a species. I mean, here's what I mean. I spoke to a customer who complained about the water company spraying our water all around and messing up people's yards. It was 1997. I explained to her she lived 100 feet from the Ohio River, which was well past flood stage in the largest flood since 1937. She told me, "You better get your act together." I said, "Yes, ma'am." "I'm sorry you're having trouble with all of this water, ma'am." Another guy was offended. He was really upset. I was on the phone with him. He wanted to know why he didn't have electricity or water pressure. I asked him, "Sir, please check again." Sure enough, he had it now. I explained there had been a power outage and it had taken 7 seconds for emergency switches to operate. He asked me, "Am I getting a refund for those 7 seconds?" I got a call from someone who had a complaint about their drinking water. I tried to explain to them at this point I was heading up a sewer utility. We only deal with the water you can't drink. He didn't care for my dodging the question. He wanted answers. Another customer complained that her water had this big problem. Her water wasn't getting hot. I ended up going by her house and showing her that she had a hot water heater and that it wasn't working. She was surprised, but she was also a little suspicious. I mean, was I a stalker? How did I know she had a hot water heater? Had I been to her house before? Well, it's okay to laugh. I mean, I know I did. Sometimes my job is changing the customer, educating them, calming them, guiding them back to reality. A few years ago, a customer changed me. An older lady had complained that our drinking water was making her sick. So I went to see her at her house. She greeted me warmly. I mean, really warmly. I thought this was going to be an adversarial situation. The lady was so pleasant. I reminded her who I was and why I was there. We sat down at her dining room table and ate chocolate bundt cake, freshly baked, homemade. I complimented her house and decorations. She asked me questions, not about the water, but like about me. The lady bragged about her son, who was my age. He had moved away. He never visited. She showed me her other bills. She had a pile of bills that she wanted to go through with me. She had spent a small fortune on late night infomercial products to improve her air and water. This was her proof that it had to be our water that was making her sick. And I tried, I tried to tell her what a waste of money these late night products were. She told me to come again. We had more to talk about. Hey, let her know what I wanted to eat. She'd make me something special. She wrapped up the leftovers for me in aluminum foil. Minutes later, I was sitting in my car with tears I didn't understand. Maybe I was crying about her son. How could this son, this louse, not visit? If I had a mother like that, I thought. Then I realized why I was crying. You see, my mom had a chat with the utility worker too. I was in the first grade. I wasn't doing so hot in school. I got in fights. She had dragged me down the street over to where some men were working in a hole in the street on underground utilities. She's smoking her cigarette. Dragged me down the street. Says, and she went to the worker and pointed to him and said, "You're going to be a bum just like him." And she flicked her cigarette at him. "A ditch digger." The man stopped working and looked up, his brow furrowed, and looked like he was angry, but then it softened. He was just, confused. You see, he didn't understand. I mean, violence was the solution to every problem in my house. This was my mom's idea of great parenting, scaring me straight. He didn't yell back. He didn't say anything. He just gave me such a kind, sympathetic look. I'll never forget it. I sat in my company car eating cake, crying unexpected tears, blindsided by guilt at all the times I had laughed at confused customers, blindsided by realizing that I wanted that sweet old lady to be my mom, angry at her actual son, who she bragged about, but who didn't visit. I was also blindsided that I was laughing and crying at the same time. I was laughing at the fact that in a weird twist of fate, my mom's rage parenting had worked and her prophecy had come true. I was indeed a utility worker, just like she said I would be, a ditch digger. I spent my whole career in the utilities. Just like that man she had flicked her cigarette at. I was a ditch digger, but I was a ditch digger who understood that what matters in life is not your title. It's not how much you know, but what's in your heart and how you treat people. Thank you, Contest Master.